shout out to all the people tuning in once again. This is Before the Show Live. I am Dada Doe, also known as Brian Preston, on Facebook. And this is the season finale of season 2 right now. And my next guest that I'm actually about to introduce to y'all is a culmination of the entire season, I would say. This guy does great photography work. He does great production work. Just an all-around great person that's always giving back to the community. Mr. Fast Cloud Medium himself, Trevor. How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's good to be here. I'm excited.
Thank you. I interviewed Ray Squared in a previous episode on this season.
I'm a big fan. She honestly had a huge influence on what I was doing. Like when I started seeing her stuff, I was like, I got to step up what I'm doing. Like I got to pay more attention. I got to do more layers. It's got to be better.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure.
She was taking pictures of the same people, and I was like, that shit's really good. You know, I got to catch up.
She's the type of person that as soon as you see her work, it's like instantly recognizable. She's got a signature.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I super love that. But I imagine and guess that, you as well got involved musically through the photography. Or is it much deeper than that?
Yeah, it goes way back. I went to EVIT. You know EVIT?
Mm-hmm.
I went to EVIT a long time ago. I was the first class that was in the new building, the current building, you know?
Okay.
Like, when I did my tour the year before, it was at the old campus.
Yeah.
And it was bad. It was like a shitty high school, you know?
Oof.
And then we moved into the new facility, which is like a college campus and has tons of funding. And I did video productions there. And part of that class was doing the music stuff and just like audio for TV, you know?
Yeah.
And so...
How long was the course?
It was 2 years to complete it.
Okay.
And I did 2.5 years. In my third year there, I was kind of like a student teacher. And just there to use the stuff and learn how to use it, you know?
TA.
And, yeah, pretty much. Because, I mean, he's teaching the class where it's all these people who don't have any idea about this stuff, and he's got to teach them all the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And get them started. But I'm coming to it where that's easy. Like, that's all just like day one stuff.
Right.
So what you end up doing is just reading manuals and learning how to use equipment. And they, you know, I never really did the assignments they gave us because I was just like helping everybody with their projects.
Yeah.
So I was doing somebody's graphics on one video and doing somebody's music on the other video.
Nice.
And I was keeping myself busy with everybody else, helping them. And that's how I spent my time there and just learning. And it was like a big studio. Like, we did field trips to, like, studios around town, like TV studios.
Holy hell.
And ours was kind of on par with a lot of them, especially, like, Channel 8, you know, at the time. Our cameras weren't as nice. We didn't have, like, the big robotic cameras, but
you know,
it was a good setup.
Firm believer it doesn't matter what equipment you're working with,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, you just got to get your hands on the industry standard stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And get an idea of how to use it.
And so you were doing video and sound work.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so I kind of realized that the sound was the hard part.
Yeah.
You know? So I spent more time after I kind of got out of school working on that because I knew that had to be on point.
True.
And then I was just like, I love local bands. And I was just always obsessed with local bands. And then all that just like having the experience just led into music.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a long time. We put my wife through college.
Yeah.
And I did like a lot of entry level, like 8 hours a week jobs, you know?
Commitment.
Yeah. So, but I never had jobs where it was like my goal or anything. So I didn't like focus mentally on that.
Yeah.
I did projects and like learned how to do stuff and just messed around and watched videos, you know, for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I got a chance to actually start recording music, and it just took off from there.
That's interesting.
Because I just got a chance, and then I had time because I became a stay-at-home dad, you know?
Yeah.
After working for years and years and years. Then I was a stay-at-home dad, and I had time, and I got a couple projects that worked out, and, you know.
It's really all about putting in that time. How I got into, hip-hop was I broke my foot skating.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't go anywhere. And I mean, I still had it was very Kanye through the wire type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really awesome to, realize like there's more I could be, learning at all times.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, is watching tutorials, teaching yourself how to do it,
Yeah.
figuring out how the people who are good at it do it, and then try to find the most efficient way to do it so that you're not wasting your time on stuff that doesn't matter,
Cut the middleman out.
Yeah, teach yourself, educate yourself. Don't pay anybody for that, just put the time in.
For sure.
Figure it out. It's all the information's there,
You have definitely produced a lot of my favorite music that I still listen to, at least on a monthly basis. You know what I mean? So even with the Sad Kid EP,
the first one, yeah, that was me figuring it out.
Right.
That was my first chance. What happened there is that the lead singer's dad is like my dad's best friend.
Sweet.
So he was just a brick. It was just like my cousin, basically,
Nice.
Yeah. And he's like 12 years younger than me, right?
Yeah.
So when I had free time, and then his mom posted on Facebook that he was in like with a 21, 10 best bands under 21. She posted that on Facebook. So I was like, fuck, I just messaged him. I just added him as a friend on Facebook and messaged him like, you want me to record some of your stuff,
Yeah.
Like I got stuff. I got some pretty decent stuff, and then, And then there's there's, when you record music, you spend so much time with people.
Yeah.
That there's like so many stories, like you don't even know where to start.
I say, I look at studio sessions like almost like therapy sessions in a way.
Yeah.
You got a lot of great moments. There's that moment with Kyle saying he was gonna keep doing something. You got a lot of great personality in that.
Yeah, for sure. They're good guys.
Yeah.
They really are. And then, they cause trouble.
Sure.
And they have very strong beliefs. And one of the reasons I could hang out with them and spend the time with them is because I related to them on a lot of different subjects and just, life experiences,
Yeah.
So it worked out, and we did that EP, and I tried my best. And I kind of got hung up on guitars, I think.
What was the thing that was the most necessary from to make that happen with that? Like what program or what piece of hardware?
I used Ableton for that whole project, right?
Yeah.
And we started out playing around a little bit with software guitars.
Okay.
And we had a really good amp on hand. We had like this cool orange amp.
Right. I love that.
Yeah. And so we did our best to mic it, and it was hard doing it your first time,
Right.
You make mistakes. And there was just a learning process, and I think I got hung up on that, and I didn't get to spend the time I would have liked at the end on like mastering.
Yeah.
And making sure everything was good and really EQing everything, And it ended up sounding fine,
right.
Fine, but not like what I want to like tell people this is what I can do,
Yeah.
It's like it's some of the other stuff that's the newer stuff that hasn't come out yet, and the newer Sad Kid stuff that didn't really come out,
I'm a true believer that this is going to be the summer of punk.
Yeah.
You get a little warm up with the Darts new record. I mean, they're rock and roll, but that's still like in your face. Like, Playboy record just came out. I cannot wait.
The Line Cutters.
The Line Cutters record.
Dude,
just
that
came
thing is
out.
awesome, dude. I was in the studio when they recorded that, taking pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, all those pictures that you see of them recording on Facebook, I took all of those.
I did not know that.
That was cool. Yeah, but it was really just the dude that signed everybody, right?
Yeah.
Giving me an opportunity to be there and giving me a reason to be there, but also me proving before that I was worthy of doing that, and like capable of doing it. And I think the pictures of that turned out really good because I had time to spend with them there.
Yeah.
And take my time and get really good pictures. Sad Kid was like in and out of the studio.
Like the end, done, let's go.
Yeah, and it was like I barely caught him at the end, and we were like trying to take pictures at the end and rush it,
Yeah.
Just because it just was in and out and happened quick. But
As it should be, it's a punk record.
Yeah, for sure, right? But on both records, the sound quality of the drums is amazing. It's something you just can't fake, really, it's something that, like, no matter how hard I try, or I would have to try very, very hard to make it sound even close to what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference on, I think, those records, is that the drums sound amazing, the drums and the bass and that studio sound.
Yeah.
But, like, vocals and guitars is all just, like, attitude. And the recording quality is important, but there's more, like, freedom of expression, you know?
Yeah.
But if the bass line, if the rhythm section is fucking locked in and sounds amazing, then that makes a good album.
Everything else is on point.
Yeah, for sure. And they did a really good job on both those albums in that studio.
I know you personally been to a bunch of dope shows and photographed a bunch of great shows. What's the best show?
The best show was the Phoenix Zine Fest last year, the after party.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be at the venue of the Zine Fest.
Okay.
But some stuff happened, and they wouldn't let them play there. So we moved it to Marna's zine shop that she was, like, moving out of, like, the next day, you know?
So, like, got to party it up.
Yeah, and we get there, and we're supposed to set up in this little room. Their tiny little room, because it's like this almost like apartment of businesses, you know?
Right.
Where they're stacked in real tight in Tempe. And we start putting the amps in, and, like, there's, like, no room for anybody. So we moved it out into the hallway.
Oof.
And it worked out amazing. And I did the sound. I had done the sound. Marna hired me to do the sound for the Zine Fest.
Yeah.
And I did the sound for the show. And the Echo Bombs played, and they sounded really good.
Hell yeah.
And then Sad Kid played, and the PA system kind of was a fucking stressful nightmare, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But it kind of fell into place right at the right minute for Sad Kid, and everything was working good, and everything was sounding good at the end, you know?
Holy hell.
And people went crazy, because the bands leading up to him were good.
Yeah.
And then they played loud as fuck, because I set it up the way the album's set up and stuff, you know, for them to just play as loud as possible.
Pow.
Yeah, with a good speaker. And we were, like, in this hallway where it kind of trapped all the sound in, you know?
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That's fucking sounds gnarly.
Yeah.
What's the worst?
Andy Warpigs was there. He can tell you about it.
And he's on his way here, too, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
What's the worst?
The worst show ever easily was, like, I think sometimes it's hard to remember if it was the first show I saw them do or the second. I think I might have saw a Sad House show, you know?
Yeah.
I think that might have been my first. But then they did this show at the Nile. Mm-hmm. And the Nile has the main stage, right, which is just, like, a big venue.
Right.
And then they got the Underground, right, which is a pretty big venue. But there was a show going on in both of them at the same time, and it was like this big coordinated show. And they ended up playing in the coffee shop.
Ooh.
And it was just like this. It was like Spinal Tap.
Oh, right.
It was like funny at, like, Spinal Tap. Like, I got there, I just brought my camera to take pictures, you know?
Uh-huh. I
was still kind of new on this situation. I guess we've been recording though, but like, right when I got there, it was like they didn't bring, like, guitar straps. Oof. So we were immediately, like, trying to borrow guitar straps from other bands. And then they were, like, a cable short on their amp. And then the amp didn't end up, like, it cut out a couple times during the show. But the worst part was the PA system. The PA guy was, like, not even paying attention, you know.
Yeah.
And like a third of the show, or maybe 2/3 of the show, the vocals were just cut out. And for, like, half that time, the guy didn't even notice, and I had to, like, go shake him and be like, dude, the lead singer's not audible. You know, they're halfway through the song, it's, like, already over. Like,
I know a couple venues like that. I don't say no names though, but
yeah.
Sad.
I mean, but I've had a lot of great. I shouldn't leave it at that, because I've had tons of great shows at the Nile. Some of my favorite shows are in the Underground. The Underground's awesome. The PA system down there's awesome. It's a cool fucking atmosphere, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. And then I've been, like, choking victim in the main room when Sad Kid and the Line Cutters opened for him.
Oh, yeah.
That was badass. The Nile's awesome. I love it. But it was, and it didn't really have anything to do with being in the coffee shop. It was just, like, the malfunctions and the number of them, and they just piled up, and it was hilarious. But see, I had my camera, and it was some of the best pictures we ever got of Sad Kid. because it was like the brick wall in the coffee house, and it was
It looked
cool.
good.
Yeah.
It looked damn good.
Yeah, yeah, the pictures look good, but the show was horrible, and it was only like in front of 15 people. But one of the things that really impressed me, and I remember about that show, is that Rick and everybody, but especially Rick, just played right through that. Just played right, didn't even affect him at all. Like, he was obviously frustrated.
Right.
But just played right through it. Did a really good job just keeping his composure and just yelled louder.
So we don't know anything about when the album coming out.
It's soon. It'll be. They got everything turned in, and they're just waiting on the process because it comes out on vinyl.
Right.
So it's just ordering, timing, show planning, doing it right. I think just waiting for the right time and doing it big.
Well, what other projects we got?
We got Travis James, mostly. Travis James and the Acrimonious Assembly of Arsonists.
I can never say that word. Thank you for saying
I got it right. Yeah, I practiced. I knew I was going to have to say it. Yeah. And then, so that split was going to be Sad Kid.
Right.
That was going to be a four song split with Sad Kid and Travis James.
Boom, boom.
So we got started on both of them. We were 2 songs deep in Sad Kid and working on Travis James stuff. And then that just became the Travis James album when they got signed.
Nice.
And got their whole different situation. But, yeah, so Travis James became a split between him and Diego. So 4 songs Travis James and 4 songs Diego. And then other than that, I worked on Couples Fight too.
Yeah.
I didn't produce it at all. Like Travis James did all of that.
Yeah.
But he sent me the files and I mastered them.
Gnarly.
Yeah, instrument tracks and vocals, and it made a big difference.
That's
super And then he
gnarly.
mixed it. It was, and it sounds, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than what they did last time, and what they did last time was good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really proud of that, and but that's all Travis James, really.
Yeah.
Really,
That guy's an innovator.
Yeah.
Trendsetter.
He knows what he wants,
Yeah.
It helps me producing him because he tells me exactly what's wrong with it. And a lot of times I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I thought, But yeah, he has accelerated everything I've done because he knows what he's talking about, He has experience. Yeah. He's made good albums. He knows his stuff, but he's not very technical,
Yeah.
He has learned what he needs to do to put out his music and do it well, but he only learns what he has to learn, to get by. Whereas me working with him, I give him the technical know-how without really the musical background.
Right.
But Travis James is honestly a musical genius.
Right.
Like he's writing great songs.
Absolutely.
So it's cool. So it's a great mix, and the songs are good.
And then I know you were planning on a comp. You got a comp coming?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan after this.
Yeah.
When this split comes out, then I'm going to start doing one song at a time with whoever.
Yeah.
Whoever I decide I want to work with. And then move on from artist to artist, basically. Maybe do a couple songs with one person, not...
Sweet.
It doesn't have to be one at a time, maybe do 2 songs, maybe 1 song at a time, but with different people during the process where those people are making albums,
Right.
And let them release those songs as their singles, me producing it, but then I also release that compilation of all the songs I made at the end of like a year.
Yeah.
Or even longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, do 1 song at a time with everybody.
You got like a little bit of splash and soul and sass from this thing and that thing. And variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, and that's one of the main goals too.
Yeah.
Is to be versatile and learn how to record everybody. I have a problem when people ask me who I like to listen to, because it's not very deep in any category.
Right.
It's like I like the really well produced people of each category. But that means like when I'm talking to somebody who likes punk, I don't really like very much punk. I do like when they play it for me and it's like, this is great, right? It's like, yeah, it's great, I love it.
Right.
But I would have never found that.
No.
Because I'm floating at the top of every category.
Right.
And just trying to listen to the best of every category so that if I do a pop or hip hop album, I'm doing it in that style,
That's right.
But I don't want to get too far away from, you know, mainstream formats and formulas, you know.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah. But be able to do all of them and be versatile. But you could go the other way and just be really good at one thing too.
Right.
You know, if you just wanted to do hardcore and you want to play like Joel, dude. The dude, you don't know him, but he's Joel Taylor. He was the drummer of Without. Mm-hmm. And I work at Guitar Center now, and I work with him. And his setup, the stuff he buys on his store discount,
right,
to just record stuff in his room, he's doing amazing things because he's a badass hardcore drummer, right?
Yeah. And
he's got a badass guitar because he works at Guitar Center,
of
obviously.
Course.
You know, he got a badass deal on a badass guitar. And he plays really well. He's really musically talented. And his setup is very cool.
I'm a super big fan of DIY.
Yeah.
You are one of those DIY gurus. Yeah. I'm so glad I got to speak to you. And
it's all about that. It's all about being able to do the expensive stuff on your own for the people you like.
Yes.
You know.
Because
it's expensive. Like what I do.
Yeah.
If I was charging people a premium dollar price, like Travis James, like his bill, he's got a fucking big tab. Let's just say that, you know, like I put a lot of fucking hours into his stuff, but that's not how it works, you know, like, but that's why it's important, because that's what it would be to him. There aren't a lot of people who can really do it and would want to do it for people.
And that's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Mr. Fast Cloud Media, Trevor. Thank you, brother, for coming through, man.
All right, man.
Yo, much love.
Just want to say, Punk Rock Prom is going to be awesome.
Yes.
Sad Kid's going to play. They hardly ever play.
What's the date?
I think it's the 8th. Okay. I'll have to check that out. But people, just look up Punk Rock Prom 17 on Facebook. And
you'll be insane.
You'll find it. Sad Kid's going to play. Travis James with the whole accordion and everything. The whole show. His drummer's amazing. His Travis James drummer, the drummer of the Freeze and Manual Sex Drive.
Okay.
Yeah. He's badass, and he plays like jazz, but he plays punk and whatever, you know, like I guess both his bands are punk and Travis James is punk, so but he's a jazz drummer, he's really good. But
please come
Punk Rock Prom.
Please,
they're gonna play. It's gonna be a really good show. And if couples fight players, I don't know if they are, but if they do, that's worth coming by itself.
By itself.
If you ever hear that Couples Fight is playing somewhere, like show up for that show. There. Don't miss that.
Yeah. All right, man. No, bless you, brother. I want to have you. I always say, man, I'm definitely gonna keep these going. I'm gonna invite more people back, and you definitely gonna be one of those people I have to invite back, because I know we could talk for days and years.
Yeah, dude. I could do a whole nother show right now on tech stuff that we didn't even get to.
And that's the plan. And that's the plan.
All right, we got to do that though. Not right now, but that's that. Next time we talk, you got the story now. Yeah. Next time we talk, we'll get right into plugins, and I could talk for hours.
And I'm gonna catch you at the Punk Rock Prom.
All right.
And everybody out there, y'all should be out there.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a good show.
Thank you again.
All right.
And there you have it. That is our episode. There goes another wonderful edition of Before the Show, the podcast. My name is Brian Preston, also known as Dada Doe. I want to thank everybody for listening. If you enjoyed our program, please share this link and feel free to subscribe to our channel for more episodes just like this one. Until next time.